Hi. So today here I am talking to you a little bit about fear. I have Kellie that I have known for a while. We actually had such a fabulous talk about fear. I used to have this fear where I couldn't do anything because I always had excuses. My excuses were I don't have it ready, I don't have time, I don't have it planned out. Whatever it was that was going inside of me was this fear base. So we all believe that fear can lead us into something where we also feel like we're going to have failure, something that will lead our soul not to walk forward and do something that we love or we feel. The biggest thing about fear is we're not able to be ourselves. And the biggest other thing that we have about fear is we're too worried about what other people are going to be thinking about us. So if you have fear and you know that there's something that you need to connect with, you need to listen to this podcast because honestly speaking, Kellie has it all. She talks about it. She tells it exactly how it is. She's an energy healer. She's the one that can explain what is going on. And the best part about today is she's here talking to us. So come along with me and let's talk to Kellie. I am so excited to introduce you to my favorite, Kellie. Kellie and I met a year ago, maybe more on Instagram, of course. She really motivated me with her vibes and her readings. I started to follow her religiously, honestly, and never knew how much of an impact she will create in my life. So I'm really, really excited to introduce you to Kellie. Hi, Kellie.
Hello, hello. How are you?
Great. Thank you so much for being here and being
Of
part of
course.
this podcast today. It's really, really exciting to talk to you about fear, since you know that a lot of us actually do have that. And you are one person that has really helped me with my fear when it came to doing something really important that meant so much to me. So, this is why I brought you here because I want you to tell others what it is that's going on with them. Um, Kellie, I would love for you to just introduce yourself and let us know what you do.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me, Nishma. It's such an honor. I love spreading the word on how to really move through life and from an aligned place, really. So I own and operate Soul Restyled. I'm an intuitive energy healer and spiritual coach. I help guide high functioning, driven humans towards their renewed energy as they evolve into their expanded, elevated version. And it's actually magic, I tell you. I love sharing the knowledge of energy, frequency, vibration, universal law, and guiding others through shifting into a soul-led journey versus where we feel what we should be doing or where we should be in life, operating from the soul versus the external.
I Kellie actually did a reading for me. Do you remember that for sure? A few months
Yes.
ago, I had a reading done with her, and she was able to pinpoint a fear that I actually had. So I wanted to do a workshop with a few ladies and set up a workout based nutrition self-care kind of a package and a safe place to just basically motivate women. She was able to see how I wanted to do it, but kept having excuses to make it into a reality. I always had excuses. Oh, I can't. I don't have this. And honestly, it was her that got me to figure out what was stopping me from doing something I really wanted to do. So today I did do my 10-day workshop. Kellie was in it as well. I remember that really well.
Yeah.
I asked for 5 women and I got my 5 women. It was like, it was a dream come true, seriously. It was the best workshop that I had put together. And because of that, I was able to remove that fear. And today I'm able to say that I had done it and I'm excited to make it even bigger. And that is so coming to be true very soon. And I'm excited to say a lot of this has come because of removing that fear that Kellie had seen in me. So, Kellie, you do have some oracle cards, I believe. Could you
Yeah.
bring one up today and just kind of see where the intention is today.
Let's do it. So just gonna give a little shuffle so everybody can know that I'm not just pulling a specific card. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so this is Council of Light. So this is actually, it's very heavy in what I'm going to be talking about tonight and how to get over your fear. So when we talk about Council of Light, it's talking about helping others. It's about connecting to universe, spirit guides, archangels, about just connecting overall, and the divine like orchestration that happens around us, for us, to keep moving us on this soul-led journey that we are here for. So there we go.
That's amazing. There are so many people who have this fear within them, and they are not able to commit to their goals or anything they put their minds to. So can you explain why this happens?
Yeah, that's a great question, because a lot of us, fear is a funny thing, right? So we are energetic beings living a human experience, and that's going to be foreign to a lot of people. But think about that. We are energetic beings living a human experience.
Yeah.
Part of that human experience is it's the inability to commit to goals and to push into the opposite direction. And we often push into the opposite direction of what we want. Mm-hmm. So if we go after everything we want and fail, what would we do? So if we rely on fear and ego, so ego, in this case, we have two egos. In this case, we're talking about the negative or the shadow ego. Mm-hmm. We'll always have an excuse or a reason to not do, not commit, and really stay exactly where we are. We stay unhappy, wanting more, desiring change, and never reach our full potential, our next version, and our higher self. Because we stay safe. We stay in a space that we know.
That's so true. Here's we don't want to change what we already know. It's so true. Fear is also based on failure. I believe a lot of people are scared about that, right? We feel like if we do something or start something new, we feel like we're going to fail.
Well, we feel like we're going to be stupid. Like we're going to look stupid. Who are we going to look stupid to?
Yeah.
Nobody else knows that we failed. It was just a blunder, right?
That's the biggest thing of fear. It's not looking in within, and you're looking at outside and saying, oh, if I fail others, what would others think of me as?
Yes. And you and I talked about that during your reading. Like, why are you scared? Why are you scared? I don't know. No, stop. We do know. Why are you scared? Let's keep talking. Let's go down that rabbit hole.
I think me though was more trying to be perfectionist, trying to make it perfect when it never needed to be perfect. It was just something that you just needed to put out and just do. And that was my
Yeah, if we're all perfect, gosh, half of us would be out of jobs because we'd all be able to do it on our own and live in this perfect world. It's like I don't know, it's like the Barbie world.
Our minds create a barrier for us to start something what we want to do. So when we are closed up, we have this fear. But if we open up and take the chance, we may find something amazing if we just try, right? So
100%.
Where does fear come from though? Like my biggest question is, where does it actually come from?
Yeah, great question. So fear is a really big word, and it's something that drives us every day if we let it, right? Like if we woke up and we could say, I'm just scared to do all the things, we could actually just stay in bed all day. Mm-hmm. Right? So in my opinion, fear comes from a lack of trust, and that trust is within ourselves. And it's to make the right decisions, do the things, create the boundaries, and create the space for success or failure. Fear and excitement are very similar emotions. So it's what we choose to do with that emotion. And I'm not talking, I mean, there's some, there's clinical reasons to have fear, but I'm talking about like the spiritual reason to have fear, like why we can't just take that next step. So again, fear and excitement are very similar emotions, and it's what we choose to do with it. So you can either get excited for the opportunity and growth, or fear that it won't work. So let's think about that for a second. What's the worst thing that happens if you fail? The worst thing that happens, tell me.
Well, the worst thing that happens when you fail, you just get back up and try it again.
Right? Or you don't. You say, you know what, this was not for me, and I'm good. I'm just gonna walk it out and go back to what I know until you figure out the next thing, right? So I get it that some fears are bigger than others, but if you're doing something from a space of unconditional love, you can't deny the outcome. And so it will always be what it needs to be. When you're coming from a place of unconditional love and care, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong.
I think that's what it is, though. A lot of people that are fearing is not just about who they are, what happened. I think it's coming from someplace else. The fear is something that they've seen, or they have done it before, and it's been failed a couple of times. So that is what's happening. So you're right. Fear is part of human nature.
Yeah.
It kept me from trying. I kept on stalling. I'll do it later. I don't have time, or I don't have it planned out yet. That's the big one too, right? I don't have it planned out. That was one of
I need to have it all done. I need to have it all ready to rock, right?
I was stuck, and I'm kind of in that path, but I'm actually also putting it to words. This thing, like I'm doing something too as well, and I'm putting something together, and I'm thinking, oh, it's coming along. I have a lot happening, but I do, like, when I look at it, I'm like, I have so much happening in my life right now that I need to kind of have to slow it down. But that slowing down doesn't stop me. I'm still putting it together pieces by pieces. So by the time I'm ready, it's ready. Even if it's ready for, like you said, 4 weeks or 6 weeks. So this 12-week program, just put it out, because that's the right time to start, right? Doesn't matter what you do.
Totally. The exciting thing is like, we're never done.
Yeah.
Like, life is not a sprint. It's not, you're not done in, I don't know, 21K. Like, this is a lifelong thing, and some things take longer. Some things need to bake a bit longer up here and on paper to allow you to be in the space of being ready. Taking the time is different than not taking the steps to move
Forward.
Yeah.
Do you think some people just need to have removed layers, or there's probably some kind of spiritual alignment issues with fear too as well?
Yeah, I think sometimes that people don't believe that they can do the thing, and they'll come up with every reason not to. So, they start doing the thing and they think, oh, well, somebody else came out with that, so now that's a waste of time. Nobody ever will do something the same way as you. We all have beautiful gifts to offer the world. And if we can just continue on that path, and when you're in it, like when you're creating it, when you're doing that thing for your life, put a little bit of blinders on.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be so connected to what everyone around you is doing, because that is a recipe for disaster.
I was like that. I was always worried about what other people will think. And I was like, should I do it? Oh my gosh, should I do it?
Oh my God, I'm not going to do it.
So how does fear actually stop us from getting what we want?
So life is scary.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of parts of it that aren't scary right now. I mean, especially in the world that we're in, right?
Yeah.
So making decisions without knowing the outcome is scary, but we have an option. We evolve and make those decisions and go along on that path, or we repeat. Repeating allows us to stay safe. And I use that term very loosely, because staying safe and repeating is not my jam. Or we evolve, which usually means we're stepping into fear, leaning in, and we're growing. We're moving into the next step. There's not a human I've met that really enjoys repeating life, because life isn't ever cookie cutter. We all have our stuff and the things that keep us. So we don't like repeating, because it's repetitive and it can be boring for a lot of people, and you're probably not where you want to be.
Yeah.
There's a ton of talk right now about that next level, higher self. Fear is not going to get you there. I can tell you that.
That's what the fear is because they're thinking about that next level, and that's making them scared because they've probably never been there.
Exactly. But the thing is, we visualize it, we want it. We say, I want that car, I want that house, I want the family, I want that partner, I want that job. But we're over here, being fearful. Just do it. Just go after it. Go after the things that really makes your heart beat a little bit faster, makes you sweat a little bit more, makes you a little bit more excited to wake up in the morning. Just do one thing, just one.
There was one thing that you really helped me with a while ago, and that was making a vision board. So in 2020, just before New Year's, me and my husband and a friend came over, and we did a really beautiful vision board, which I see every single day still. And today, when I look at that vision board, it's like, I accomplished this, done. And I'm like, oh my God, I need to make another vision board. But it's so beautiful to see that I actually did that. The only thing that did not come true yet is my trip to Hawaii or Bali.
So here's the kicker about vision boards. About 80% will come to fruition in the first year and a half. Mm-hmm. The remaining 20% can take up to 5 years. So in 5 years, you'll look back at this vision board and you'll say, I did all of that.
Yeah, but I don't want 5 years to happen. I need to go to Bali like now.
Okay, so we're in COVID times. Things are a little different. Right? It's funny you say that, because here's my vision board right now.
Like, okay, I'm turning 40 soon and I want to go Bali, so do something. But you see what I mean by that, right? Like the vision board really helps with fear, I think. So I remember I had talked to you and you pinpointed fear inside of me. Remember we were talking, and this is how you're like, I don't understand what's going on. And but I had so many excuses for you from doing them. How did you see that fear was in me? What did you see in me that you were able to tell no, there's something going on, Nishma. What is it?
Yeah. So, I mean, the good thing is that for me and for you, I'm an intuitive energy healer, and I literally can feel the energy of others in an incredible way. The joy, happiness, sadness, uncertainty, disappointment, and so much more. But I can actually feel it. I tap into about 10 minutes before I connect with my clients, and it starts to tell me what their energy is and what needs to be discussed. So I do use the oracle cards to help me direct into specific areas of your life and pinpoint what's going on. I can feel the emotion at an indescribable level, and my soul connects with you as a client in an intimate way. So whatever's weighing heavy on you can be shared with me, because I already feel it. I already know what's happening. And I pull the cards, I say what the cards are, almost to get them out of the way. Yeah. So we can actually just talk about what's going on. Like, this is what the cards tell, this is what the cards are telling me. But that's like, let's get into it, because this is what I feel. The cards are fun because, you know, they can give you direction, and yes, a book comes with them, but when I'm with my clients, it has nothing to do with what the card is supposed to mean. It's the card comes up because of your energy. So for example, before we started recording, I was shuffling the deck and one flew out. And I said, and you started saying, when I'm doing this thing. And I'm thinking about this thing, and I said, well, this is your card, because it literally just flew out of the deck, and I answered the call. So it's a confirmation that you're doing the things, you're actually listening to yourself, and to just keep moving.
It's funny. It's so funny about this. I didn't want to talk to anyone about it. I just kind of wanted to keep it inside of me, because I was like, I know I want to do this. It's a big dream that I've been wanting to do.
Yeah.
And because of so much going on in that I'm putting together, this one book is already almost out. My second book is going to be coming out soon. I know, it's so exciting, right? And then I have this beautiful business coaching that I put my mind and money into it, and I really want to take it from the inside of my soul, and I want to get it done. It's there's just, and then I've been doing yoga, so there's a few things that I still need to finish with that. And I'm like, okay, I can't put this, though it's in my mind, though it's in my soul, and it just came to me. I'm like, no, I want to do it. Like, I want to get into it right now. Like, this is exactly. So now that's not fear talking.
No.
That's intuition talking.
No, because tonight's conversation with you has been completely different. You're in a completely different energy, and it's like you're grounded. Like, you're grounded in what you're doing, where the last one was,
I'm not sure.
It was emotional, right?
It was. I started crying. You put tears in my eyes. I was sitting there, I'm like, she's right. Why have I not started this? Why have I not done this? What is stopping me? And after you did that and you got that out of me, within 1 week, I think, within a few days, I posted the 5-day challenge, the five ladies, 10 days, it was like, let's do it. I was amazed to see how many ladies that did come. And the ladies that did come to me, they were serious. They were there. They were so like ready to make such a big change. And one of the biggest things that they told me out of the 10 days was, and they all said it to me, I wish it was longer. That makes me feel good, because knowing that, yes, it was only 10 days. Yes.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how it was going to go. I didn't even think I was going to get one person.
And that right there tells you, though, that you need to listen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you do need to listen. You need to listen to.
You just need to, everything is on the other side of fear.
So just
we all have fear.
We do. Just like I'm telling you right now about what I was talking to you right now about what I wanted to do. Now, there's two different things here. There's fear and there's your intuition, right? So when I ask you about that, so I believe what I was just telling you when we started this call about what I want to do and how excited I was about that. I don't believe that was fear talking. That was more my intuition talking, right? So give me the difference. How can you tell the difference if it's actually fear, or are you ignoring your gut intuition? What is the difference between those two?
And I love that question, because and this is going to be hard for the people who haven't done some of the work, and they don't know themselves well enough, right? So when you know yourself well enough, you can kind of differentiate. Like I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, when I'm getting a cold, I know how my body feels. I know just innately how I feel inside. Okay. So fear is often paralyzing. It comes from what we are unable to control. And it's also, again, the darker side of the ego we all have. The ego that likes to keep us safe, where we know exactly what's going to happen without a shadow of a doubt. Every day is repetitive. We know we're in control. There's no disappointment because we knew that was going to happen. Humans love to be in control. And when we aren't, we sometimes spiral. Right. And that comes from people, places, things, past experiences, you name it. The brain can create a fear out of it if you let it. When we focus on the fear and really understand where it's coming from and the worst that could happen if it doesn't work, that's magic. You can start to live in a new, fresh way that actually serves your soul. That being said, intuition is something we all have inside. We all have intuition. You know how we all say, what does your gut say? That's intuition. Intuition is something we often just ignore for many reasons, including, I don't want that right now. That doesn't go with my current life. It doesn't fit. I'm not drawn to it. Intuition, or that niggle, I like to call it, is the universe trying to connect with you. If you ignore it for long enough, the universe will stop pushing you in the direction of your soul, and it'll just let you be, making the same mistakes over and over and over. And maybe mistakes is the wrong word. Maybe it's not mistakes for some people. It's just life. But at the end of the day, if you're not happy with current situation or status, and you know you want more, and your gut is telling you, your heart is telling you that there's more there for you, and you're ignoring it, that's you ignoring your intuition.
Yeah, and that's the opportunity.
Yeah,
The opportunity that you can have.
totally.
I found a quote and I wanted to read it, see if I can find it here. It says, fear or intuition? How do you know if it's your intuition talking or your fear? Fear gives you the feeling that it's now or never. Like you should act immediately. It gives you rushed feeling or an uncertain one.
Yeah.
Intuition, you're never in a hurry. The feeling that goes with that is always one of calm, assuredness, of space.
That's so true, because so if we think of this, and I talk about this a lot in my business, are you grounded? One of my biggest things is being grounded. How do you ground yourself? How do you center yourself? How do you align energetically to be? So when you're in fear, when you're operating in fear and you're in that in your head, you're not grounded at all, because you're making knee-jerk reactions. You're making decisions you would never make, ever, because fear is telling you that that's the decision you should make. When you're operating aligned, energetically aligned, and listening to your intuition, you are moving yourself in the right direction. You are vibrating at a different level. You're listening to the universe and saying, oh, I like that idea. I'm gonna vibrate up there. I want to be in that frequency. And you know what the universe says? Oh, geez, Nishma likes that vibration. She needs more of that in her life. It's magic.
It's funny you said that. Yeah, it's so true. I've gone through this and it's like this never ending story, but now I see it from other people. Actually, I see it in my dad. I see it in my mom. I do see it in my sisters, one of my sisters too as well. Fear is there, and they're scared. They're pretty scared of doing. They don't realize it, and it's just like, oh, like how do you get out of it? But there is. I always believe that fear is inside of you. There's some layers that you bring in as a child.
Yeah.
And that childhood, whatever that went through, that's the fear that you're bringing in. And you've probably seen it with your mom or your dad or someone or something. And that's the fear that you're getting when you're trying to do something for yourself.
Yeah, it's often experiences we have as children. So it's an experience that we've had with our parents or with people close to us. And if you can come from a place of, it's all about changing that story. It's about seeing the story for what it is, realizing that is not your truth. And oftentimes it's seeing what you got out of it.
Yeah.
Like seeing that, my dad left when I was a couple of months old. And rather than seeing that as the thing that left me, it gave me so much, and I would not be where I am without that experience. But it's overcoming the negative and seeing the light out of it. And it's the same with my mom. Instead of seeing, sadness when my dad left, she taught me unconditional love. Yeah. She taught me to operate from a space of love and gratitude and care and understanding of people. right? So it's, you know, anyways, back to your point, I digress. But yes, our childhood experiences create us as adults. So that's that.
Okay, so why don't you give us some ways we could work on removing fear and constant fear to start something new? Like, what is something, some tips or something that you can give to us that we can work towards?
Love that. So I was thinking about this the other day, and one thing that I thought of is, what do I look like if I'm talking to my best self, my higher self, the one that has what they want and working towards the things that they don't have yet? It's big, right? There's lots of work, probably seems quite far away for some of us. But when we talk about higher self, we have our higher self inside of us. That's our thoughts and our dreams and our vision of where we're moving to. Your higher self is not outside of you. It's not somebody else that you want to be or need to be. It's all here. And so for a few minutes, think back to where you were 2 years ago, a year ago. Where were you? What were you doing? How are you feeling? And this is sometimes why journaling is really important, especially if you're on this journey of growth and understanding yourself and where you're going and what you're meant to be here for. That's where journaling really comes in handy. So it gives you a chance to look back. And for those that don't like journaling, go and buy a 5-year journal, 1 sentence a day for 5 years. You write on the same page for 5 years on that same day, and you actually have a chance to look back and say, oh, that's what I was doing 4 years ago. That's so weird, right? So it gives you a chance to reflect. So we're evolving energy beings. You aren't where you were, but the journey is never done. And so if you can actually step into that, knowing that you're going to fall, you're going to take a giant leap forward, and then you're going to have 2-3 months where not a whole lot happens. That's not failing. It's just being. That's life. Life cannot always be on this upward, on this upward motion, right? So let's talk about big bodacious goals for 2021, for example. You and I both have massive goals. They're big. They're like big bodacious goals, like literally the definition of it, right?
Yeah.
So what I want everyone to do is break it down. Getting over the fear of how you're going to get there can dissolve if we create monthly intention towards the goal. It's harder to fail or fear failure if we create little steps to get us closer to our North Star.
Right.
Okay. We each have everything inside of us that we will ever need. Think about that. Like, really think about that. Everything is in us.
Yeah.
If we trust ourselves, source, energy, the universe, God, higher powers, angels, whatever it is that you can get on board with, lean into, and feel supported with, that gets you through fear. Being on the other side will allow you to look back and probably laugh a little bit about how paralyzed you were in that moment. Just be you and have your desire for success. Like, everything you want is there.
This is why I do these podcasts, Kelly, because I was never myself. And a lot of women out there don't know how to be.
Yeah.
And fear comes from that. And it's, I actually start tearing up because I was like that. Why is it that I have to worry about what other people will think for me to do the things that I want to do? Why is it so important for you to be liked? Why is it so important for you to worry about what your neighbors are going to tell you about what you're doing?
Right.
I had a few people saying, "Oh, I've gained so much weight, and there's so many people that talk about it." I'm like, does it matter what people say about you? Does it matter? What is it? Like, I know it's not fear based right now, but that fear that she's having is what people are talking about her, And when you remove fear out of it, when you start thinking just you, be yourself, like just exactly what you said. When I started this podcast, I said to myself, I'm doing it for myself. I'm doing it because I was never able to be me.
Yeah.
This podcast is allowing me to open up and to be me. And that fear I used to have, it's gone. I don't care if that person likes me or not. I don't care
Right.
if this person likes me or not. I don't care if nobody comes here and says, Nish, I love you for who you are. And though I get so many people saying, thank you for your podcast, thank you for putting these out because it's so important. That's where fear comes from because we're worried about what others are thinking. It's not about me.
100%.
Stop, everybody. Stop right now where you are. Close your eyes and just breathe. Breathe in and out and think, who are you worried about? And why are you worried about them?
And remember, you are the only person that will ever have your back 100% of the time. You are the only person who will get you through this life. Other people will support you. They will be here for you. They will love you. They will care for you. You are the only person at the end of the day that you answer to and that will have your back no matter what decision you make, no matter how much weight you gained, no matter, you sent your kids to school on the bus for a few days, whatever it is, you're the only person who has your back.
Yeah. And that's where it is. You need to remove that fear because your journey is yours. Where you go, where you take it today, it's because it's for you.
It's nobody else's business.
No, and I love that. So thank you for bringing that up because honestly, that's the biggest thing today is just to let everyone know that fear-based comes from not understanding how to be you. And if that does not just summarize it all, I don't know what does. Because though we are bringing it from childhood, though we are having these layers and layers and layers inside of us, it's just stopping us from doing the things and we're scared to do them. We are scared because we're worried about money. We are worried about what the outcome is going to be. Instead, forget about the outcome. Forget about what's going to happen. Just do it because if you don't try, you don't know what's going to happen. And I'm going to say this because I was there. I did the 10-day workshop with these women. I didn't know. I honestly thought these women were like, what's wrong with her? Look at the workouts. Like they're done in her basement. Like I was like, and I didn't get I didn't get any issues with that. In fact, what I got was these women started messaging me and telling me, you're so motivating. You did so well. You were ready to do them. And I sat there, I'm like, not that great, but thank you so much. That made me feel so good,
Right?
So you won't know the outcome. Do it, enjoy it. You could have the most amazing thing out there and you don't think it is, but others that are going to be doing it will think they're amazing. So Kellie, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
No idea how happy I am that you're here today and that you answered so many questions about fear and why we have been able to feel the reasons we feel them and why they're there. You practically brought the right answer right at the end of this question. So I am so happy to have you here.
Awesome.
It's a difficult situation for so many people because as a personal note, fear also comes from, like I said, layers and layers from our childhood. We have brought them into who we are today. And that is why these fears come to us. Such a great talk. And thank you for just, again, for being here and being you. This is why I have you here. So thank you. I bring in entrepreneurs, I bring in women because these women have changed their lives and they're here to help others to make that same impact. This is why I have Kellie here today. So thank you, Kellie.
Thank you so much.
Can you please tell others if they wanted to, maybe let's say have more information or they wanted more about your energy healing and needed more clarification, where can they get a hold of you?
So I'm on Instagram under Soul Restyled. On Facebook, you can find me on Soul Restyled or under Kellie Inglis. Message me, DM me, email me, my website, Soul Restyled. Find me, let me help you, let me guide you, because there is no reason for us to not live the life we want to live because we're fearful. Ever.
Seriously. Thank you for being that person for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
I thank the universe today for allowing me to have met you, because when I did at the right time, I was able to do something I never thought I was able to do. So thank you. I am so grateful for Kellie today for being here.
Thank you.
I will leave Kellie's information on the bottom of my description so you all have it. As well, I am really hoping that if the ones that are listening here today, that if you were able to grab a few pointers to help you focus on what you really want, I'm telling you right now, be yourself. That is one of the biggest pointers I'm going to tell you. If anything that you got out of today is, don't worry about others. Be yourself, and you'll see how that fear will slowly fly away. This happened to me. I did it. Thank you, Kellie. Thank you, everyone here, and we will talk soon. Thanks again.